Okay. So we'll just keep talking about fit. We're basically gonna take the first like 5 to 8 minutes to kind of review our sleep week, and then we'll take about 10 or so minutes to work on eat week, and then we'll do questions and answers and stuff like that. So let's start with sleep. Keep going. Or anyone
No,
new?
I just checked my REM and my deep, and it was similar both nights. So I don't know. Maybe I was
Your
awake.
light sleep, your time awake also matters.
1 hour 14. Oh yeah, my
If I had
time
to
awake.
guess, it's your time awake.
Yeah, it was my time awake. And
Yeah.
that's the problem. I started using the Calm to go to sleep. So I go to sleep, and that's fine. I can go to sleep, but I still wake up. So I don't know how to fix that.
It could also, I mean, it could also be, look at, you're on a call with 90% women. Hi, Michael Ambers, but like it could be an estrogen thing for us, because isn't it lower estrogen?
Progesterone, lower progesterone, wouldn't it be?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't
The
take any,
hormone thing.
but I think that if you have lower estrogen, you get less, it's harder to get better sleep or something like that.
So we're all screwed, except for Will and Michael.
Yeah.
Jenny, no.
To be fair,
Yeah,
Will and I are
notice-
screwed in other ways.
Yeah,
Becca, come
exactly. We're gonna have to start getting up to pee every 5 minutes. But
What do you mean start?
Michael's already
I'm not
there.
quite there yet.
You're on your way, Will.
So basically, the sleep week worksheet, if you look at all of that stuff, none of it has anything to do, none of them say anything specifically about the amount of sleep or like focusing on the quality of your sleep in terms of the actual results. They are all strategies to improve your sleep quality. So if you are not able to check every one of those boxes, you have some things you potentially could help your sleep better. Spend less time awake. We didn't talk about the power down routine. I was hoping to talk about it today, because if you did fill out the sheet and say, oh my God, I did no screens, I didn't drink any water, I didn't have to get up and pee, I'm not drinking caffeine late, I'm not drinking alcohol right before bed, I sleep in a cool, quiet, and dark room, which I know my mom does not. She has TV on probably. But it's that things like that, right? Let's just pretend like all of those check marks are, or all those boxes are check marked. Then we have to start looking a little bit deeper. How can we actually get things? Maybe it is a hormonal thing that I don't know much about that, so I'm going to leave that alone. But maybe that's contributing to it. Also, like your power down routine. Who was it? I was talking to. I don't remember who it was, but essentially, a lot of us are going to bed, even if you're going to bed without watching TV, you're going to bed with like stuff constantly running in your brains. So even if you do fall asleep relatively quick, it doesn't necessarily turn it off immediately. So maybe things like meditation or journaling might help brain dump before you try and go to bed. So stuff like that. Were you able to check all the boxes, Mom?
No.
Okay. Which ones did you not check?
It's not a cool, quiet, and dark place.
That's actually usually one of the bigger ones, but okay.
Bigger ones meaning people are able to achieve or not able to achieve?
It's lower down the list because it's something that I actually think it has a higher impact, maybe, but I almost think it's as important, if not more important, than no screens, no water. But I put it lower down the list because I kind of thought people would already have done that.
Don't assume.
A no-brainer, like I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, Melissa's gone as far as like going around. We only have one light in our room, and she put a piece of electrical tape over it.
So here's like my personal experience, not to get too deep into my personal experience. I share my bedroom with another adult that disagrees with the TV on and the light side of the bed light on.
Mhm.
So as much as I would love for the lights to be dark, there's another person that occupies the same space as me. And that's not my excuse. I'm just saying sometimes you can't, unless you choose to sleep
Correct.
in another bedroom, you can't control those things. Or
You
you
have to do
control
the
them
best
as
you
much as
can.
you can.
Right. They have found that sleep masks are a pretty good band-aid on that. And then also, even though they've also found that like a laser on the back of your knee in a perfectly 100% dark room, your body senses that laser light on the back of your knee.
Really?
They've done research and proven that, yes. So any light whatsoever, your brain picks up on it. However, just like you were alluding to, the better you can do, the best you can do is better than not the best, right?
Mm-hmm. Heavy blankets over your head also work like masks.
I've negotiated with my husband on this because he is the same. He likes TV on. And so he does the iPad instead of the TV with headphones. And then I have to wear a sleep mask. So it doesn't eliminate the light, but it reduces it. Like it's much less bright because like the iPad, you can turn the brightness down, but the TVs for some reason you can't. I don't know why they haven't fixed that yet. But it's much less bright though. If you
that'd be really interesting.
If you go turn it off and then you go to sleep.
There you go. It'd be interesting. Not that that would be financially a great idea, but it would be cool if you could get significant others to maybe for 1 week, I want you to try this. Wear this tracker and try this. And I will prove to you that you will sleep better. You'll wake up more refreshed. You'll feel better, blah, blah. Yeah, perfect world, right?
Not everyone is in tune with their fit sixes as we are.
Yeah. What else?
My problem with that issue, also to dwell on my own problems, is I fall asleep early on the couch, cuddled up with the dog. So that's I didn't go to bed because I decided to knock out on the couch at 8 o'clock before dinner or something. And so that's disruptive to like accidentally fall asleep in the wrong place.
Mm-hmm. That's Luke. Luke falls asleep with
that's
the
his
lights
bedroom,
on.
Right?
Yeah, no, it's not the couch. I'll wake up to pee at 2 a.m, of course.
He's got all those
and
lights
his lights
on.
will still be on.
Like he's awake or he's asleep with the light?
He's asleep with his lights on and his phone in his hand, playing YouTube.
I've done that.
I've never done that in my life.
I've done that in a meeting in the afternoon.
That's because you're not sleeping well enough during the nighttime.
I know, and I haven't been doing that. So I am sleeping better at night, and I'm not having that kind of problem during the day. But I guess
That's
my
good.
sleep score was correct last night because I was sitting here watching TV, and the next thing I knew, a different show was on. I'm like, did I fall asleep? And it was for like an hour. It wasn't just a few minutes.
Not to pick on you and joke, but also that's kind of like a really good example of a lot of the stuff that we're doing here. You probably will not notice this. Like, I went to bed yesterday feeling this way, and I woke up today feeling this, like a different person. A lot of this stuff is little things that might go unnoticed like that. Like, oh, I haven't fallen asleep in a meeting in the middle of the afternoon. Oh, I've been sleeping better. It's stuff that you may not necessarily correlate with the stuff that you're trying to improve. So try your best. That's what the notes section is. Like, I wrote down, I actually figured this out a couple of weeks ago because I've already kind of done a once through of this whole thing. I figured out that like if I started my last intake of water was like 2+ hours before bed, I didn't wake up to pee.
Really?
And it shot my sleep score up by like 7 points out of 100, like 7% on the better nights of sleep. It's like, oh my God, that's crazy. And that's the only thing I changed. So sometimes it's hard to maybe pinpoint like the cause and effect or the benefits of some of these things, but they are real.
Interesting. I'm
Okay.
really actively trying to, put my phone down at 8:30 and be done with my Duolingo, my phone, everything, charge my watch so that when I go to bed at 10, all that, but the water thing is just, that's hard.
That's fine. That's you, right? That can be you, right?
Yeah. But I
I'm
still
not
am
trying
getting
to,
up in the middle of the night, but yeah.
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 I think Matthew Walker or some Chris Winter talks about it's actually I think I asked you last week how many times a night you think you on average get up to go to the restroom. You said 2. I think he said that that's not abnormal, even if you're really like on top of all this stuff anyway, like 1 to 2 times a night.
Yeah.
It's when it's like 2 times every night at the same time or more times. Like that's when you start to, okay, well maybe there's something else like I need to address.
But what about when you have a
So,
hard time going back to sleep after you've gone to the bathroom?
yeah, that's my problem. So like my sleep score is almost completely dependent on me staying asleep the whole night.
I wouldn't even know what it's like to stay asleep the whole night. It's been so long.
Unless
So
you're like sick and on NyQuil or something.
maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Not even then.
Sometimes I can get through the night and sometimes I can't. And I don't even know necessarily what it is because I mean, I'm pretty cognizant of not having anything to drink a couple hours before bed. I'm really trying to implement that. But and the other thing is similar to what Steph said, is if I can get back to bed in time, then I'm able to fall back asleep, or if my mind starts going. And then if my mind starts going, then I'm awake.
Or if you touch your phone. Jeez.
I don't. I never do.
No, but I've done that where I'm like, I can't sleep. Let me pick up my phone. And then it's like, you're not going back to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, all of these stuff, a lot of the things that people use to, for example, calm, headspace, waking up, lots of the breathing app, exercise stuff, it's all on the phone now. Like there isn't something you can listen to without like opening up a screen and then blasting your face with that light in the middle of the night. But
have you guys ever heard of the Hatch? I have a Hatch. Joe and I have it looks like an egg, like a half an egg, like it's like a dome, and you set it on your phone, a sleep ritual, but it executes on that ritual without you having to touch your phone because you set it up in advance. And so there's nighttime noises you can select and a calm down ritual. There's bedtime stories it can read you, nightlight.
Hatch, you called it?
Hatch, HATCH, and it does a sunrise wake up in the morning. Like we wake up to a sunrise, a slow sunrise and birds chirping. So that's really amazing. And it is an app, but once you set your rituals, you don't have to touch your phone. You can just touch the Hatch. Certain numbers of taps will lead to your certain ritual steps.
That is cool.
It's amazing.
I've never heard of it. I'm going to check it out.
It's cool.
Do you use one for each adult or okay. So it can have 2 different people's timing routines on it?
No,
you have to share the same
you
routine.
have to sync you have to sync up with that other adult.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
2 hatches for you.
Yeah.
Maybe you could
sunrises.
Man, you could do that, Stephanie. I don't know. Maybe you guys can make 2 hatches work.
The sun rises
We'll
twice
see.
at Stephanie's house.
The sun doesn't rise. I'm awake already.
That's true.
Yes, he's already been at the gym.
I don't wait for the sun. Yeah, I'm already on my way back home from the gym.
You're the 5:15 crew. You guys don't you don't wait for the sun. So
I haven't seen a sunrise in years.
Maybe we'll should
anything
more running so we see the sunrise more.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
No one wants that. I'm going to make sure the next time we program a longer run workout, I'm going to say it was your request.
No.
I think we all know that the sunrise over Van Nuys is the best in the valley, so that's fine. I support that. Especially with a homeless guy down the street. He really gives it that flavor that we're looking for.
Flavor is the exact word.
Over the courthouse.
Aroma.
Yes, aroma.
What I was going to say is my kids have a catch each.
Really?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
The kids one doesn't do the like the meditation and the sleep, but it gives you also different lights. So like red light, you go to you're supposed to sleep better or like calm down in red light, and then in the morning you could set it to turn to green light when you can get out of bed.
So if they're awake,
Oh,
they
that's
know
fun.
not to get out. They're not allowed out of their room until they got the green light, in theory.
Hypothetically speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
That is cool. I forgot about the kids version.
All right, cool. Sleep is a wrap.
But we
All right,
still
let's
need to
move on
keep working on it, right? Like stay.
Yeah,
we're
so
not done with
theoretically,
it.
the idea is you theoretically could print out a brand new one of these and do it with your eating. Now, I understand part of the point of this is like not to have 10, 15 different things that you're trying to check off every single day. That's one of the reasons why I don't necessarily think the whole life people end up finishing the whole life challenge for a lot of times, is because you have to log 10 different things every day. So realistically, like pick what I would do if I were you, and the way I kind of imagine this going is, okay, well, I consistently didn't get I consistently didn't stop drinking until an hour before I went to bed. No, I'm just kidding. That was supposed to be an alcohol joke. I know. Anyway. I have yet to sleep in a cool, quiet, and dark room. So that is your sleep check mark, just moving forward until you make it happen, kind of a thing. Then this upcoming week's kind of all starting all over. So today you get to check that mark for the plan, basically because you're starting to see what's in store for you for the week, what you might think you already had trouble with. Oops, I'm on the wrong week. Just by looking at the sheet. And yeah, so let's so plan is number one, consistency is number two. I think that's going to be the same for all of them, if I'm not mistaken. The more you can set yourself up for a sleep routine, and routine by saying routine, I mean like it's the same almost every single day, every day, not just the weekdays, weekends as well. Consistent nutrition schedule, eating at approximately the same time. So if you're a 5:15er, like maybe you don't have that first cup of coffee with protein at 4:45 on the weekends, but maybe like you still eat a relatively large meal where you would normally eat it afterwards, kind of timing wise. Did everyone look at this before you came? Okay,
Yes.
so a lot of this stuff isn't new either, right? A lot of you have done this with me before. Protein, fruits and vegetables. I add one protein forward meal per day, because we'll come back to that in a second. Remove bingeable high impact treats, meaning like if you're a known over consumer of macadamia nuts, for example, they should either be parceled out into individual serving sizes or eliminated. Don't just like handful kind of a thing, right? There's especially nuts, right? And stuff like that, and cheese. Oh my God, I had no idea how much, because I haven't been eating cheese in a long time. I haven't had cheese in a long time. We bought a block of cheese like 3 weeks ago. And an ounce of cheese has like 150 calories.
And an ounce is so tiny.
It's so minuscule. Like that's a slice of cheese is 150 calories. Holy crap. I had no clue. Because I don't eat cheese. And I started craving cheese. I'm like, oh my God, that's so good. But it's very calorie dense.
One piece of candy is 150 calories.
Yeah. I mean, all these like bingeable, high impact treats, quote unquote, can really derail your efforts. We're not counting necessarily in this round. The second round, we will be very, very much more focused on counting stuff and timing of stuff. But right, this first, like just intro, we're going to basically suggest that people use the next level down as the hand serving size meal assembly. So palm size protein, fist size carbohydrate and a thumb size amount of like healthy fats. I'll send you guys the picture for that. Precision Nutrition actually has the best infographics for a lot of the nutrition stuff. But that's at the very, very bottom. My goal, if you walked away from nothing else with nothing else other than trying to get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day, 1 gram protein per pound of body weight per day. If you did nothing other than that, I would call this entire thing a win. Because almost no one is close to that, let alone even thinking that they might be there.
I'm getting closer.
Do you
How
feel
many
a
grams of
difference?
protein did you have yesterday?
I have no idea, but I have been eating.
What do you mean you're getting closer then?
Because I can tell you, because yesterday morning I had two eggs. What else did I have? I forget what else I had. Oh, I had avocado, tomato with the eggs and a little corn tortilla. And I'm like, I know that's not enough protein to get me to my goal by the end of the day. So I had 2 of those little protein balls. So that added another, I think.
What protein ball? What are you talking about?
I don't know. I get them at Costco. They're really good.
I know what you're talking about.
What is the protein base? Like plant-based protein?
I don't know. I don't have any idea. But that added like another 15 grams. So then, and then, what did I have?
So you're at like 30, okay?
Okay, so then, and then at lunch, I had something for lunch. I don't remember what I had for lunch. Yesterday, I don't remember. Anyway, and then, oh yeah, we had not a very good lunch. It had like almost no protein. So then I had a protein shake because I thought there's no protein in this, but that's 30 grams of protein. So that added another 30. Then for dinner, we did have a good protein balance. I think I didn't eat more after that. So I'm closer. And then like today for lunch, we had chicken and I forget whatever all else, but I'm like, that's not enough. So then I had another protein shake. So, cause I know how much protein is in whatever, like a Sharky's protein plate, whatever. So I know that that's not enough. So then I add more. I have no idea how close I am, but I'm closer.
Okay, so that's good. So closer is better. Aware and acknowledging that you're not there is better, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why we do this. Like, until you've actually looked at food labels, and like, I know this because I know this, but 1 egg, which people would consider a relatively high protein source, I hope, has 6 grams of protein.
Yeah, it's not really that much.
Let's take Michael Ambers, who probably weighs around 200 pounds, plus or minus, who cares? It doesn't matter. 200 is a nice, easy number to think about. He's not even remotely close with 5 eggs. With 100 eggs, maybe, right? But no,
eggs are fucking expensive, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And they're expensive. Yeah, protein in general is the most expensive thing on your plate. Oh, it will be, no matter what form or fashion you get it in. Protein's going to be the most expensive. So trying to find lean, clean, cheap protein sources is pretty tough. Our staple is chicken, and I've found a way that like you can put it together with almost any other accoutrements, and it tastes good. It's this like seasoning stuff called Carnivore Red, the best seasoning I've ever had. And Carnivore Black works on red meat. It's really, really good. But yeah, protein is really, really tough.
I mean, honestly, interrupting. I mean, so I'm give or take 210. That's a lot of protein.
Like how many meals a day do you eat,
that's
Michael? Like 4 meals a day?
4, 5, 7, 12 chicken breasts a day. That's crazy amount of protein.
Yeah, so let me come back to that. Real food first. So if at all possible, you're not getting your 100, you're not getting half of your protein goal per day with protein powders and shakes. Now I get that I would rather that be, if you're not getting anywhere close, I'd rather you have that, right? I actually can't eat enough. Like the limit of my meal size protein tends to hover around 40 grams of protein. Like I just don't, I can't eat more than that. Like I don't know why. I just can't do it. Might be because I have too much fruits and vegetables on the plate now also, and I'm not used to doing that either. But so I have to eat, like Stephanie was kind of saying, like 4 to 5 times a day. I have 4 meals. I have like 1 or 2 snacks, and then I'll have like a protein, and then I'll round it out with protein powder. It's really freaking hard. Now, where does that number come from? I actually kind of wanted to point at some stuff because, oh, I'm not getting it, so it doesn't matter, or I don't care that much. Basically, it's in the research, it's actually 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day of lean mass. So essentially, you're trying to support your lean muscle mass. If you're not getting even that minimum, you're probably spending muscle mass not probably. There is the potential that you are spending muscle mass as energy currency to do your activities of daily living and exercise. So that, like, protein's kind of a big deal, because what is the reason why a lot of you go to the gym? It's weight loss should be a nutrition thing focused, but realistically, you're going to the gym to become more capable, right? Increase your lean mass, improve your mobility, and improve your physical, like, movement capacity, right? Well, that is limited by how much protein you're consuming. So if you're not supporting your efforts in the gym with adequate protein intake, you kind of get stuck. And we don't want people to get stuck. We want to keep them moving forward, because eventually we'll get over the hill and then we'll start coming down with fighting essentially decline. So protein's a big deal. And it also helps if you have like nagging injuries like elbows and shoulders and knees, ankles, like sprain stuff that that's protein, right? Your body needs protein to repair damaged tissues as well, right? It needs other stuff also, but like protein's a big part of it too. So like just the minimum of the lean mass plus an additional amount of just repair plus the additional amount of then we get ourselves to that 1 gram per pound of just body weight. That's where that number kind of comes from. So that's a lot. And I acknowledge that it's a lot.
I know that's true because the last body spec I had, and do you remember I lost lean body, whatever it's called,
Yeah.
lean body, I lost. And I realized I had slacked off on the amount of protein because I was trying to diet and I was trying to lose weight and I was trying to eat not much, and that wasn't working. So I was losing lean body mass.
Yeah, which is usually the way that dieting unfolds is all of your food, most people, they go from 3 meals a day to 2, right? Well, sure, you cut down your total number of calories. Sure, you cut down on potentially the bad foods that you might be over consuming with your meals, but you're also cutting down on the protein. And it's a big deal, especially as we age. So I don't remember the exact statistics. I've seen different things, but essentially, like, just use the number. Once you turn 30, year over year, you lose 1 to 3% of your muscle mass. Just like if you did nothing, you would just start losing muscle mass 1 to 3% a year. So that's part of what we're trying to stave off. The only way to do that is to resistance train and eat enough protein to support the muscle growth that you're potentially, hopefully, creating with your resistance training.
But
so
not even like support muscle growth, like stop the loss of muscle mass as we're getting older or like going into 40 plus, because like even if we're like, I personally, if I'm eating my body weight in protein, but I'm also trying to lose weight, I'm losing muscle mass. So do I want to lose muscle mass and lose weight? Or do I want to be a little bit heavier and not lose the muscle mass? And even eat more protein because I don't want to lose the muscle mass.
I have been eating more protein, and I have been trying to eat a little bit better and cleaner, but I haven't been crazy about it. but I have been really trying with the protein, and I've lost weight. Not a lot, couple pounds, but I think
so
it's
there's also that. Sorry, Mom, go.
It's true. You have to eat a certain amount. By eating a certain amount doesn't mean you're going to gain weight, and you probably will lose some weight because you're eating. When you eat the proper amount of protein, you're not craving potato chips and candy bars, so you don't eat those. So it kind of has a double effect.
Right. And this is kind of beyond this, but like we're starting to like branch off. It's like so crazy, like it reaches into every kind of facet of our life. What we're trying to do here, like it seems like protein is this kind of inconsequential thing, but it matters a lot. Like besides you having a more full feeling, satiation from your meals, you'll eat less bad things, especially, now this is a little bit kind of weird, but like when I eat my food, I try to eat the protein first, and then I try to eat the like heartier, greener, multicolored vegetables next, or with the protein, so that like the starchier carbohydrates and heavier fat stuff, there isn't as much room for that in my stomach as I'm eating. Like as I'm not stomach, but like I leave it on the plate. I basically don't get to finish it because I'm full. So there's that. Also, like the more lean mass you have, the higher fat mass does not burn calories like as how do I say this? Lean mass is essentially your biggest controllable calorie burn throughout your day. Meaning, the more lean mass you have on your body, the more calories your body burns sitting here, doing absolutely nothing, right? The more lean mass you have, the more calories you burn, the less you have to do to theoretically burn calories, right? So it's really, really big deal. Now look at the worksheet real quick. Real food first. We already talked about that. There's, besides the like remove bingeable high impact snacks and treats, there's nothing on here that says don't eat this, don't put that in there, don't do this with that. You can eat as much of that kind of stuff as you want, but I kind of already alluded to it. As long as you're trying to get your protein in and at least 800 grams of fruit and vegetables per day. So those two things, if you don't have to do this, but I highly suggest you try. Before you ever start counting calories, before you ever start using MyFitnessPal or doing RP Strength, if you do those two things and prioritize those two things, I almost guarantee you will not need to do any kind of quote unquote diet or any kind of strict calorie counting. You will be so full of fruits, vegetables, and protein, you got no room, no desire for anything else. It has nothing to do with taking stuff away. I just want to make sure that stuff's in there. It's a bit, it could potentially do some pretty powerful things for you. There's questions in the chat I didn't realize.
Debbie, I saw Debbie's question about MyFitnessPal. I would say unless you have, I don't pay for the upgraded version, but it's just like default settings that I have to go in there and manually change. I don't follow what it tells me. Like if I put my age, weight, dimensions or whatever, and what I don't know what weight I want to be, it's telling me like 20% protein, 30%, like the numbers are off. I've switched manually go in there.
I've switched them too.
Yeah.
And it's still about, I want to say 20 grams short of my body weight. And I'm hitting that every day. And it helps me be accountable for how much fat I'm eating and making sure I don't go too over on my carbs. So I like it because it also tracks like what my caloric intake is, because you could just eat protein all day and still eat way more calories than you're supposed to eat in a day. So it just keeps me accountable on a daily basis. But if I have to meet my body weight and protein, then I'm going to go over on calories. So I don't know which one is more important. That's like kind of my main question. You know what I mean?
So there are 4.3, give or take, calories per gram of protein consumed. That's like if you turned like a gram of protein into energy. Like, don't worry about any of the chemistry in between. It's 4.3 calories per gram. So let's just use 100 grams of protein. If you ate that every day, that's 400 calories. So realistically, you have at least, and let's just say you're 100 pounds, your basal metabolic rate requires, I don't know, maybe like 12 to 1400 calories per hour or per day, give or take, whatever. I'm just making numbers up. You're not even close. Like if all you ate was protein and then let's say broccoli, you could eat more broccoli and chicken breast than you could ever possibly handle in a sitting or like in a day, and still probably not get to your calorie goals. So if I was to say, because I actually helped Debbie set up for MyFitnessPal. So like her question is kind of like, well, we set this up and it's still saying something different. This is a little bit more of a, since you're already on that track with MyFitnessPal, counting your protein, carbs, and fat and your total calories, and it's set to your current body weight, it's set to your goals, and it's set to a relatively accurate activity level, I would say you stick with that and you give it some time to work. And if it doesn't, we adjust. That's what me and Steph did years ago now. We basically went through like 6 weeks or something, then we readjusted. We went through 6 weeks or something, then we readjusted.
I've gone through like different iterations and been at very different body compositions. Like, I mean, so right now I'm tracking on MyFitnessPal because Jenny got me to do it. And I'm not sticking, even the calorie setting that I set, like I've set more restrictive calories. I personally don't like that for myself. But if I make it probably like, if I made it 1800's too high, meaning like I'm gonna eat too much of the other crap. But if I set it at 16, if I hit 17, I know I at least hit 150 grams of protein. That's probably more than I need, but my problem is not under eating. My problem is overeating. And I always start, every meal is centered around protein first and then vegetables. And then wherever else there's room, like throw in some carbs. So then I know that I've always hit my protein for the day. Then I don't really care. If I'm going over on calories, I cut back on the carbs or I cut back on the fat to stay under on calories if I'm that concerned, but I don't really care if I swing 100 over or 100 under.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I would suggest doing it. Like that's how I've kind of listed it in this thing. Like protein first, fruits and vegetables second, and then whatever you can possibly fit in your hole third, kind of a thing.
But also
about fiber. What about fiber?
800 grams of fruits and vegetables.
If you're eating 800 grams of fruit and vegetables a day, you're getting like 40 grams of fiber or more.
Okay.
And to give you some perspective, 800 grams comes out to somewhere around like 2 cups of, and I say fruits and vegetables, I'm not counting, even though like sweet potato is technically a vegetable, right? Starchy squash, like starchier stuff. I'm not counting that. I'm talking about like
leafy
peppers, onions, kale, leafy greens. Like that is what I'm calling a vegetable. And then like fruit is whatever you want it to be. 2 things on the MyFitnessPal. You always have it's like whenever I like really have ever worked with anybody, I'll put them up on that with 40% of their daily calories coming from carbs, because it automatically defaults to 50 from carbs, 30 from fat, I believe, and 20 from protein or something like that, or 20 and 30 switched. I typically set people up on 40, 30, 30 because that's zone. It's in a lot of research. It's a really good place to start. But that's all those numbers are. It's a place to start. So reevaluating, okay, getting a body spec is actually the best thing you can do, because then you can absolutely tell how your body mass, like not just your weight fluctuations, but the composition changes. Did you increase, more than likely, let's just pretend like we're not working out at all. Did you decrease fat mass by the intervention that you've just taken on for 4 to 6 weeks? If not, something needs to change. Maybe you're carbohydrate sensitive, or maybe you're sensitive to specific carbohydrates, and other ones, like you could eat for days and never see a change in your lean or fat mass ever. EC Sinkowski, I think, is one of the followers I told you. Yeah, the Consistency Project. She actually has a really good pre-MyFitnessPal, post protein in 800 grams. Basically, you count your calories for an entire week. Just like eat how you would normally eat. Let's just assume you're getting as much protein as you think you're supposed to be getting, and eating 800 grams of fruits and vegetables a day. And you average them, and you just start there. That's your calorie intake, and you kind of adjust your MyFitnessPal to accommodate that. It's kind of an easy layman's way of doing that.
What does add one
question.
protein
You go
forward
first,
meal a
Kim.
day mean?
Who asked that? Kim?
Yeah.
Kim.
Once you start taking a look at how much protein you're consuming, you will realize that you're probably halfway to your goal of 1 gram per pound. And so just adding another meal will get you closer. And if you're adding a meal of protein and fruits and vegetables, you'll probably be fuller, and will then in turn make bad decisions later on in the evening, which is when people, or midday maybe, make bad decisions nutrition wise. Protein, basically everything that, if you are not like, everything that you're putting in your mouth is not like intentionally trying to put protein in your mouth, you're probably not getting enough. That's almost how it feels. I didn't do that for a long time. I kind of just ate 3 square meals a day and had a protein shake and a bar after working out for a long time, thinking it was enough. And then I started like tracking my stuff too, and I realized I was falling super short. And then when I started really trying to do a good job of that, I added like 12 pounds of lean mass to my body.
Did you
Like,
also gain fat, or did you only gain
well,
lean
I
mass?
did. So right now I'm like 13 pounds of lean mass heavier at a lower body composition fat mass than I was like 6 months ago.
Well, if we don't want to be snacking on chicken breast,
Turkey.
Yeah, tuna,
Go ahead, Jenny.
beef
Sorry.
jerky. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jenny.
Like I have a problem. Well, yes, Steph and I have been, tracking the last week or so, but I have a problem with the fat. And whenever I go to pick up a snack, because I don't always have time for a full meal or to even warm something up, it's usually like, I don't know, a yogurt or a jerky snack, but that's also really high on fat. And then that goes overboard for the day. I don't know what my question is here. What are some good snacks that are high protein that's not going to kill my fat, but also aren't ultra processed?
So there's several different little strategies kind of hidden in there. So number one is plan, right? That's why that's number one habit, is the more you can plan ahead to try and deal with stuff like this, the better. You'll be more set up for success. Number two, kind of what Stephanie was saying, is she makes sure that she hits her protein, and then as it gets closer to the end of the day, and this is kind of how I do mine as well, using MyFitnessPal, if I know that I'm getting, like if that meal, for example, that factor meal that I only have one more of, those are super, the one that I subscribed to for some reason was like super high protein, but super high fat. I guess I got the keto one. I can't afford the fat in there, I don't have it. So like you adjust your carbohydrates and carbohydrates and fat around kind of the calories you've got left to use in your day. That takes some practice though, kind of knowing what's in the stuff that you're eating, unless it has a food label. And then if it does have a food label, I wouldn't be as how do I say this? I personally would opt for a jerky or yogurt over a pure protein plus bar that has 150 calories, but it's
Plus
only
carbs.
got
But it's got all the other crap in it too. You're getting the
I
protein,
don't know.
but you're
I don't
getting
actually remember the macros in that bar. I was going to say, what's that other one?
RX
That
bar?
has zero net carbs. They're
Oh.
super chewy. Yeah.
Barbell? Is it barbell?
It's not Barabells.
We
It's
have
Quest bars. Quest bars are like zero net carb, relatively high in protein. They might have fat, but basically I would opt for the jerky over a bar like that because of jerky's got, if it's clean, really clean jerky, it's like only turkey jerky or beef jerky or salmon jerky, right? Versus the pure protein bar that's ingredients list is a mile long, right? And then if it's a one-off thing and you can't find, you've got the choice between McDonald's and not eating, just don't eat, right? Not realistically. Like if this is a one-off thing, you're not going to starve to death. It's one snack, right? In a week of eating clean, it's not a big deal if you miss it. And then you just get back on track the next day. Don't try and make up the macros that you missed. Just move on.
The problem I have with the just skip it is that the next meal you eat after the one you just, because usually it's like you had a really busy work day or you had a really busy day with your family. You weren't in a place where you had access to food that you should be eating. So your choice is eat garbage or wait till you're around food that you can eat. And so you sort of skip or delay that meal. The next meal that I have is like, I'm starving. I wish I ate 2 meals in between there. So like, even in that situation, I may go to Del Taco or McDonald's because that's where we are and find the thing that is like the relatively closest where it's protein and dump the bread or something, because I'd rather eat something than skip all that and then like way overeat the next meal. And that's just fair. Me, but it depends. And also to get out of the habit of saying, this isn't a good meal, so I shouldn't eat, and I'm going to skip to the next meal, and then end up getting into a habit of like, I'm really busy, I'm not eating during. Like I personally have basically forced myself when I'm really busy to say, this is part of the day that I have to eat something. I can't skip 2 more hours and basically skip an entire meal, and then I'm in a deficit and constantly in a deficit for protein.
Yeah, actually, and that's something I'm very thankful for my life and schedule. I don't run into stuff like that very often where I'm like, I don't have access to food. I didn't plan ahead. Like I don't have choices. Like Mike, I'm sure most of you know who Mike is. He'll like work for 12 hours straight and drinking only coffee. And then like, oh shit, I have to go work out. I have my session with you. Oh, I didn't eat anything all day. And then he has, besides the terrible training session that ensues, he's also not supporting any of the stuff that we're trying to do in that training session, right? So that's a very good point, actually. Maybe do your best not to make that a habit.
But Jenny, like the situation you're talking about where like literally you're committed to something, you're away from easy access to food and like the best choices, and you didn't get to plan ahead, or like just it didn't work out, and you're at work later than you expected. So the things that I try to do, like it sucks, but like don't think of snacks as like I think of when I eat as every time I eat, even if it's snacks, is a meal. So that I'm not like constantly like a little bit here, a little bit there. It's like, no, that's my next meal. So it has to be like just like my lunch, it's like lunch number 2 or like pre-dinner. And so I get clowned at home. It'll be like 5:45 and it's not my dinner meal because we usually eat dinner at like 7:30 to 8 on a good night. So I'm hungry because I ate lunch at like 1 and then I have to eat some meal between 1 and 7. So it's like around between 4 and 6. I was eating like 4 ounces of chicken and a side of vegetables, like, and my husband's like, "You're eating dinner already?" I'm like, "No, this is the meal between dinner and lunch. Like, it's just my other meal. It's a snack for other people, but it's like, it's just as nutrient rich as the lunch meal and the dinner meal. It just happens to be one of 4 meals I eat that day. So I don't view like when I eat as like, let me just squeeze a little in here and there. It's like I view when I eat as the time I need to consume this much food. And then it makes me less hungry the next time I eat.
Yeah, and that kind of comes back to planning, consistent schedule, and realizing that it's very, very, very challenging to eat a gram per pound of protein per body weight per day. Unless, and I actually, I don't know if you guys remember this, but they used to tell you to eat like 4 to 6 times a day because it increases your metabolism, this, that, and the other. That's basically been debunked. But essentially what actually was happening, or possibly what was happening, is people were eating more protein. Like that's the only way to get enough protein in is to eat more often. Like for people who, now there's nothing wrong with intermittent fasting if your sole purpose is to lose weight and lose weight as quickly as possible, for example. There's nothing wrong with 1 meal a day, feeding window of 4 to 8 hours, like things like that. The problem with that stuff is it's hard. It's already hard to spread that much protein and vegetables out in 4 to 6 meals across the entire day. Then you have to squish all of that if you're trying to maximize your efforts in the gym and improve the best you can your body composition, right? This, unfortunately, calories in, calories out, macronutrient profile, that stuff, it has been true for hundreds of thousands of years. We've operated pretty much the same machinery for all of that time. That stuff hasn't changed. So that's kind of what we're left with. And so it gets really tough.
But to more specifically answer your question, Jenny, what I've done is like 4 ounces of chicken is like what? That's like 30 grams of protein, like chicken breast, right? So like it's not that much in volume. So I just try to have that handy, or like I'm desperate and I made a nasty can of tuna for lunch. Like I'm willing to set the bar pretty low on what I'm eating just so that I just get it in, and like slice up, you have, turkey from Costco, sliced turkey breast from Costco, and chop it up and throw it in a baggie. And like, it's not sexy, but it's food. And it's probably better than like processed food, and better than like a carb-based processed food, like a bag of popcorn or a bag of nuts, like trail mix or something like that. Because there's more protein in the meat than there is in or hard-boiled eggs, except they stink,
Yeah, I guess it's all the planning.
Kim is laughing at Hannah. Is Hannah still here? Yeah.
Yes. You guys are literally naming all the foods I eat.
Yeah, because you eat well, right? But like I mean, I'm notorious for stinking up the office with fish and broccoli. but I planned ahead. I don't microwave the fish, but the broccoli I do.
It's true. I mean, you're very well put, Steph, that it's not sexy if you have to have a baggie of chicken breast in your pocket when you pull up someplace. But sometimes you gotta do it.
So not to, and if this has been any of you in the past, I apologize. But I've done enough. I've done whole life challenges with people. I've done Whole30s with people. I've done Heart 75. No, what's that called?
75 hard.
75 hard. I've done all these other. I've done almost everything, right? And I always get a kick out of the people who solicited or unsolicited, post pictures of their beautiful meals at the beginning of challenges, like because they're super excited and they want to make really good food, and it looks delicious and is presented really well. And I feel bad because with 99% certainty, I know that person is either not going to continue making it that way, or they're not going to make it at all, right? They're going to make it through a week because they think that eating clean, unfortunately, has to be this to-do, this giant event. And unfortunately, anyone who's done this for any amount of time, seriously, is like, it's like microwave chicken nugget. Oh, doctor, on this, the follow, I think I took him off. No, Dr. Nedalski, he's basically one of the lead nutritionists and stuff for RP Strength. He posts stuff all the time that's like weight loss. What's his post? It's like weight loss for dummies, or weight loss quick packs, or something like that. And it's got like the bag salads. It's got sliced deli meats that you chop up and you put it in your salad, and like nuts or something. Like the super simple, because that's the only way to consistently do this. It's got to be very simple. It's got to be very accessible and easy. And if it's not likely that you're going to get through it the way you want to. So anyway, I just brought that up.
I also found for myself that, like, so aside from the protein thing, that when we go on these challenges and we're like, let's get on the whole life challenge compliant list or something, like I'm eating clean, like what we decide is clean for ourselves this time, then we look for, it's technically clean, it follows the rules, but it's very calorie rich in something that probably shouldn't be primarily eating. So it's like still a dessert, you're satisfying a sweet tooth, except it's just like the clean ingredients, the same amount of calories as if you just ate the straight candy. It's just like probably better for you. It's compliant, but like I would always, I'm within the rules, but I would be eating the wrong things, because it's just like you can't only eat the healthy brownie, like it's still a brownie. So getting out of the pattern of like I'm rewarding myself but with a healthy treat, like it's easier for me to just be like, start to figure out ways to eat things other than healthy treats, or rewarding myself for a tough day, like emotionally eating and rewarding myself with food. Like that's probably not the best pattern, even if it's something clean. So I've tried to, in all these times I've done this with Will, like figure out, why am I eating the things I'm eating? Like, why do I want those things? Is it really that? I mean, yeah, like birthdays and stuff like that. But like, if it's, I had a really shitty day and I want to eat chocolate right now, and is that really going to make me feel better? Maybe, but maybe I need to eat something else instead. Because I am the first one to find like, oh, nuts, yes, they're still whole life challenge compliant, but I shouldn't be eating like 20 servings of nuts in a day because it's not helpful.
Right. I have a question, just 'cause I'm a little off on the whole, when you say 800 grams of fruits and vegetables a day, and I maybe I'm all messed up because I've been thinking about fiber so much and how much fiber is in something like that. Like, what am I weighing? Is it a weight thing, or is it I don't understand.
So it's essentially 6 cups of chopped vegetables, or the equivalent of fruit. Like a medium-sized apple is essentially like 125 grams, maybe. How much? Let me see.
Grams of what?
An apple's 125.
It's
apple is 150.
Or what are grams of what? What are grams of what am I talking about?
Grams of weight. So
it's
not
actual
like
weight.
carbs.
It's not macronutrient grams.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you force yourself to consume at minimum 800 grams of some fruit or vegetable, that means you're not eating something else instead. So you're kind of filling yourself up with those things. But like, it's like if you went to a Mexican restaurant, I got a plate with tacos and beans and rice, where's the vegetable in there? So like if you forced yourself to get, like you could eat an entire meal and be full and not have consumed one fruit or vegetable in that meal. So forcing yourself in that meal, like maybe I don't get the beans and rice and I get a side of salad with the tacos, or I put like a bunch of lettuce on top of the tacos.
Salsa.
Yes. Are you eating 800 grams of salsa? Maybe.
Probably not.
With
You would
chips.
probably vomit. Yeah, so to give you some perspective, like just use a medium-sized apple weighs around 150 grams. So if you eat 5 of those, that's 750 grams of fruits.
Okay, it's weight.
So it's not actually that hard. And then vegetables are a little less dense, right?
Yeah.
They're a little bit, especially like leafy greens are very airy, right? Lots of space. And then you can, yeah, so.
Okay.
And all of the people that I put on the bottom to follow, quote unquote follow, a lot of them post stuff like comparisons like this fun sized Snickers bar is 150 or 250 calories or something. And the exact, you sent me that, Kim, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you sent me that comparison,
Bowl of
right?
Jell-O guy? Yeah.
2 bowls of Jell-O for that one Snickers bar, right? You eat yourself sick before you got through that. And that's obviously it's not the same level of satisfaction, right? But
Snickers bar.
like that's kind of the strategy. It's like, don't leave space for the bad stuff.
Got it. Okay.
Kim, on the meals where I eat like some type of, usually I don't rely on plant protein very much other than like protein shakes, but like, so if I'm eating meat, I'll try to eat like 1 to 2 cups of a green vegetable, like a leafy vegetable, not a starch-based vegetable, with the protein. Because to me, like if I'm eating 4 meals a day and I'm eating 1 to 2 cups of vegetables with the meal, I'm probably at 800 grams and eating a little bit more fruit. So like, I'm not weighing anything. I don't really care that much, but more if I make a plate, like if you do, like, is that the kind of the fist, thumb, whatever, the thing at the bottom is like, if you have a circle plate, if like more than half of the plate is taken up by vegetables, then you're probably not filling it with carbs. And then you've got your protein and some other portion of it. So like making sure at a minimum, I'm getting a certain amount of vegetables from somewhere.
Got it. I just made a fist and it gave a thumbs up. That was so weird.
Whoa. Cool.
It only did it once.
No,
Okay. Did it do it again?
No, it just did it. Well, when you just said it, it did it
Yeah.
again. Oh, because you said thumbs up.
No, I think I just made I literally just made, I was doing a fist and it did the thumbs up because I was doing fist, hand. Now it's I think I used my max for the meeting. I can only have a certain number of thumbs up.
You've used all of your positive emojis.
Okay, great. All right.
¿Qué más?
What
I'm
is your
hungry.
under further actions? You've got something that says communal.
Oh. Well, we were going to talk about this next week. So I think the best further action time is to talk about that. But basically, cook your own food, meal prep, chew more. So a lot of the digestion doesn't wait till it's in your stomach, right? And then it's moving through your intestines. Digestion starts with your mouth, right? So chewing more helps your body deal with stuff earlier, faster, better. Meal prep, no screens or distractions while you're eating. And some of these things are like, I mean, a lot of this stuff is how we used to eat, right? Before televisions existed and phones and people worked till 10 p.m. at night, right? A lot of times we were eating together at a table at dinner time at 5 p.m. Sunday through Saturday, right? A lot of that stuff, besides it being kind of like, there's benefits to a lot of that stuff. So communal basically means like communal eating. Like if there are someone in your house and it's around everyone's time to eat together. Sit down with other people and talk to them, you know? Yell at Luke for having the lights on at 2 a.m. No, I'm just kidding.
Gosh. What are your little abbreviations, MFP and RP?
So MFP is MyFitnessPal.
Okay.
RP is Renaissance periodization. And that's like a timing thing. So you can geek out a little bit on that this week if you want to check it out, if you follow any of these people. But basically, beyond just the like if you had every single meal exactly the same macronutrient, there is actually a better way to eat and get more out of those macronutrients by stacking the more carbohydrate-centric meals closer to your workout time and then tapering off your carbohydrates either away from if you eat in the morning or towards if you work out in the evening. And then the fat
at night, opposite of when you work or when you work out.
Like if you work out in the morning, having a super heavy fat protein meal in and around it is not, you're going to feel like, versus if you have it closer to the evening, like if I work out in the morning, I don't need a bunch of carbohydrates close to bedtime. I'm not going to use any of them, right? So that's just where that comes in.
Got it. That's like Hannah level. That's not
that's why that's further action. That's not in the cards for this round.
Got it. All right. I'm hungry. I gotta go.
What's for dinner?
I'll send you guys my beautiful breakfast that I made.
For dinner? Oh, for today.
No, I made it for breakfast.
Yeah.
Why weren't we invited?
Well,
no answer to that.
No answer.
Hey, where do you get carnivore red? Online?
I would buy it from their website. Amazon's been taking too long.
Okay. Cool, people.
All right, Steph, Jenny, and I gotta go because we gotta go to bed soon to wake up on time.
Yeah.
I won't be eating dinner till 8:30 or 9.
I don't know how do you do that?
I'm like falling asleep at the dinner table. But it's my communal eating. Or I sneak when I cook the dinner, I eat it in the kitchen before they eat. And then I pretend that I'm not hungry, but I actually already ate the best cuts of everything.
I'm that time.
Yeah, well, this is so good. I want to eat right now. Are those blood oranges?
Blood oranges and pears.
Wow.
And it's a mixture of squash and sweet potatoes. Air fryer. If you don't have an air fryer, you better go buy one.
Yeah, no, definitely I do.
That's awesome. My God.
Why don't I have one, William?
Just
all right, I'll buy you one when I come over and cook you breakfast next Sunday.
Yes.
Good idea.
You're sassy.
All right,
Sandra.
She didn't get breakfast this morning.
So sad.
She's punchy on Sunday night. I like it.
Sassy.
bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.